Frank Lampard has a remarkable history at Chelsea. He's a club legend, to say the least. He's won everything there is to win with the Chelsea shirt on. But as a coach, I'm not convinced that he's capable of taking this team of talent to the next level. Welcome back to Halftime TV. Norando Brown here, your host. And over the weekend, we had quite an interesting set of occurrences. Bayern Munich, their 23-game winning streak came to an end. Manchester United became the first team to score a penalty after the full-time whistle. Chelsea and Frank Lampard still seem clueless, and the $220 million spent is nowhere to be seen. Will Frank Lampard make it through to the end of the season? I hope he does, but based on what I'm seeing now, it doesn't seem quite likely. I'd like to shed some light on the penalty situation in the English Premier League so far. Of the 28 games, 20 of those games involved penalties, and the new handball rule is atrocious. Obviously, the persons making the rules have not been on the field of play, and I continue to lobby for them to have a former player, or at least a few former players, a part of that panel making the decisions to modify the rules, especially when it comes to the handball situation, because quite frankly, I can't see through that Eric Dyer handball and how that was given as a penalty. Tottenham Hotspur lost 2 points as a result, and Jose Mourinho opted not to speak on it because he prefers to give his money to charity rather than the FA. The English FA has reviewed the handball rule, and they've urged referees to be more lenient with players in the penalty box going forward for the rest of the season. So I'm expecting less penalties to be given and referees to be more considerate when blowing that whistle for handball calls in the penalty box. At the rate that they were going, I was expecting at least 40% of this season's goals to come from the penalty spot. However, hopefully, based on the discussion that was had throughout the week, this will change, and going forward, we'll see less of those dubious calls being blown for. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Frank Lampard have had quite similar seasons so far. Although it's only been 3 games, it begs the question, which of these managers will see out the season? Solskjaer lost his first game of the season to Crystal Palace, and Frank Lampard lost to Liverpool in Chelsea's second game of the season. It's the same defensive frailties. He continues to point on players, and as a coach, I know he's quite inexperienced, but you don't single out your players, because then eventually you're going to have the squad against you. Frank Lampard has a remarkable history at Chelsea. He's a club legend, to say the least. He's won everything there is to win with the Chelsea shirt on. But as a coach, I'm not convinced that he's capable of taking this team of talent to the next level. The Champions League draw is now complete, and there are some quite exciting fixtures to look forward to. One in particular, Juventus versus Barcelona. Before the draw happened, there were some what-ifs. Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi being drawn in the same group for the first time ever. Now, having said this, it's quite fascinating how the odds play in their favor, because now we have Juventus playing against Barcelona in the group stage of the Champions League. A Barcelona team that has Lionel Messi, and a Juventus team being led by Cristiano Ronaldo. That is the standout fixture from this year's Champions League. However, we have some quite fascinating ones to keep an eye on as well. We have Manchester United being drawn in the group of death, in my opinion. RB Leipzig and Neymar's PSG over there with Manchester United. We have Chelsea and Europa League champion Sevilla in that group, and Manchester City has one of the easier groups, in my opinion, because they have Marseille being their most difficult opponents. Liverpool have Atalanta to play against. They also have Ajax, which we know is a selling club, and over the years they've been selling some of their best talents. Frankie de Jong, we saw Van de Beek going to Manchester United as well, and just recently they sent Dest to Barcelona. So that one is also one to keep an eye on, but I'm not expecting it to be as exciting as the other groups. Real Madrid, they're drawn in group with Inter Milan. Inter Milan has been playing some wonderful stuff. Lukaku, one of the most prolific strikers in Europe last year. he will be looking to get one up on his fellow countryman Thibaut Courtois, who has been phenomenal since joining Real Madrid. 8 very interesting groups in the Champions League, and I urge you not to take any of them for granted, because football is unpredictable, and on the day it's a team that shows up to play. We have our predictions, and whether there be upsets in any of the bigger groups, I hope so, because that's what makes the game interesting. Players of the season this year: Manuel Neuer was goalkeeper of the season, Joshua Kimmich, defender of the season, Kevin De Bruyne, midfield of the season, Robert Lewandowski, forward of the season. There's no debate in that. They all thoroughly deserve it, and I think each of these individuals had phenomenal seasons last year. For manager of the year, I think Hansi Flick was hands down the best manager throughout Europe last season. Jurgen Klopp had a wonderful run with Liverpool, and they won the English Premier League for the first time in 30 years. However, I think Hansi Flick, having won a trophy every 8 games, deserves that accolade, because although Jurgen Klopp was great domestically, he didn't do much in Europe, and in comparison to the season before where he dominated Europe and won the Super Cup and everything, I think Hansi Flick had a more phenomenal season. In general, he did extremely well with a team that he inherited. Jurgen Klopp had a great domestic season. Whether he is the greater manager on the day, I won't argue, because Jurgen Klopp, in my opinion, is the finest manager in football right now. But Hansi Flick had a phenomenal season, and as such, I would give him the benefit of the doubt this time around, considering everything that he has done with this Bayern Munich team for the past 12 months. Once again, thanks to our sponsors: Quicklink Shipping. Follow them on Instagram at Quicklink Shipping, or email them at quicklinkshipping@gmail.com. CSA Shop. CSA Shop. Be free, be confident. Follow them on Instagram at CSA Shop, or email them at csashop@aol.com. RS Sports. RS Sports Get in the Game. Follow them on Instagram at RS Sports. And remember to follow the instructions outlined in our description to participate in our Predict and Win competition. Predict and Win is sponsored by RS Sports. Thanks for tuning in to this another episode of Halftime. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Norando Brown here saying, until next time.